Hey, what is up, Marvel Strike Force? This is your mob boss, Gangster KT, and today we are doing a video about the mob war, specifically talking about the Knowhere team and how they can now counter Gamma at a point, and we're going to talk through what that point is. So, a couple things to point out first, real quick. I wanted to compliment my Photoshop abilities. Hopefully, you guys really like those pictures there and the graphic behind me and that seamless integration of the Knowhere and Gamma team into my gangster scene there. Also, something I always forget to mention, but if you like what I'm doing, enjoy watching these videos, please go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. So that helps me out a ton. And with that, let's take a look at this new Gamma counter that is finally here and talk through what is needed for it. Alright guys, so before we get into the video, I'm going to talk about the team powers a little bit and then also just some of the high level priorities of the match to make sure this is reliable and you win. So first off, you can see my team is just under 1,000,000 power there. It is deceiving. My Korg is 46k. I just got him yesterday and I'm slowly building him up to maximize the milestones. So he's small. So the team overall is probably closer to representing like a 1.2 million, 1.3 million. But as you can see in the picture here, it punches up on a 1.767 million Gamma team. So it's the biggest one in our alliance, the biggest one I could practice against. It's about 2.2 million with all the war buffs. But in practice mode, you don't get that extra power. But again, you can see this is about an 800k punch up. So I don't know if I'd try a normal 800k punch up without the Korg cheese in war. But, 400k, 500k, you're probably safe. And really, you just need to make sure that your Star-Lord and your Thor are big enough to survive the Red Hulk opening special, where he does the 3 hits and does a lot of damage. I found that to be at about 170k is when I could reliably survive that and kind of survive their opening barrage against fully max Gammas and max Red Hulk. So that's what I'd recommend. My Star-Lord is pretty big. He's T17, or I'm sorry, my Nova is pretty big. He's T17. Level 95 and 7 yellow, 4 red. So that definitely helps me here and helps carry some of the weight. In the fight, you have to make sure that you use the Nova alt after their Red Hawk pops and uses his alt. So that's so critical. As you know, the Nova puts up a battlefield effect with his alt. And for the Knowhere team, that Nova battlefield effect is an attacking side effect. So it helps your team when you're attacking. Whereas the Red Hulk battlefield effect is an enemy side effect, so it hurts the enemy team. So in this match, in war, that's the same side, and that's your side with the Knowhere team. So you have to make sure that you have the right battlefield effect up for the majority of the match, which is Novas. So again, you just have to make sure that you don't use the Nova alt until Red Hulk has popped. Normally that happens very naturally. I did have a few times testing where Nova actually got a second turn before Red Hulk alted. And if I used the Nova alt at that point, then the match was over and they would win because the Red Hulk alt would trump and be the dominant one throughout the match. So if that does happen, in the rare instances, I would advise just basicing with Nova on a second turn and still saving that alt to override the Red Hulk one. So the second highest priority is blinding Red Hulk. So when you get the Star-Lord special, that's pretty obvious, right? But definitely want to take out Red Hulk with that blind to mitigate so much damage. And then the kill priority is Red Hulk, She-Hulk, and then the rest of the team. I found in my testing, at least with my team this size, once I had Red Hulk and She-Hulk down, really once I had Red Hulk down, the match was over. So it really doesn't matter after that. Abomination's kind of a pain with flipping your buffs to debuffs. But again, you have the match won at that point. Cosmo handles any debuffs on your team, so you're good. So let's play the video now and watch how this fight plays out. So you're going to see I start with the Nova special on a taunting Hulk to get some debuffs up in the trauma on Hulk. So their Red Hulk goes first. I survive it, get turn rewound. But here's my open with the Nova special. So I've never had A-bomb stun land on Nova in all my testing at the size Nova I have. So use the Thor special there on Hulk. I'm not sure how much that really matters who that goes on because the ability block never seems to completely stick anyways. But that's where I used it. So there you could see their Red Hulk popped and ulted and he killed my Korg. So again, that's because I have such a small Korg, but one of the reasons that does really hurt me is it doesn't allow Korg to special, which I assume would go now, but he always died in my testing of this. And that special gives offense up to your team. So before Nova alts, he'd then have offense up, which is huge. And Thor would have offense up as well by the time he alts. So that is a big difference, but this still obviously works with such a small Korg and not having those offense ups. So let's check it out. Their Red Hawk alted, and my Nova will be doing the same shortly. So I put the blind on Red Hawk there, as described in priority number 2. Mitigates his counters and just his damage in general. So Nova is going to alt there. You'll see on the left the red battlefield effect gets replaced with the green one, which is what we want. So now we're no longer getting the Red Hawk effects. Use Cosmo there just to flip my debuffs and take buffs away from them. He is so fun on this team with what he does, just always controlling the battlefield. So their Red Hawk misses because of the blinds. Thor's just constantly doing his passive attack. Can't wait to see what that does when he's bigger. And then here is Thor's ultimate, which because of the striker attack takes out their Red Hawk and is just huge damage. So I want to talk about that for 1 second. So Thor's ultimate, I think is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see it with a bigger Thor. So what is the percent of piercing damage on Kang's ultimate? It's 300%. And Kang does apply defense down before he does that, so that does do quite a bit of extra damage there because the defense down. But, that's still nowhere close to what Thor's 700% piercing damage ultimate to all enemies is. Not even to mention Thor's the 3rd highest damage dealer in the game from a damage stat perspective, so higher than Kang there. So I just cannot wait to see what like a fully maxed Thor does with that ultimate and how much damage that actually is compared to how much Kang's does. But anyway, back to the video here. So you can see they're still just missing away because of the blinds. Use the Star Lord ultimate here. I'm going after She-Hulk as priority number 2. You will see here I decided to actually attack Hulk instead because I can tell with the striker attack I'd be able to wipe him and thought that was worth doing. I don't think it would have mattered, but that's why I made that decision. There's the heal and the flips from Cosmo. She-Hulk is now down, and now it's pretty easy cleanup for the rest of the match. So again, this really is reliable. I did actually struggle on a few practice matches against a smaller Gamma that had different positioning, but I think it was more kind of RNG based, and I was just playing it from some other practice with different positioning, but really wasn't bad, was able to figure it out. And I do think if you're asking yourself, hey, this war coming up this week, maybe tonight, can I go ahead and try my Knowhere team, even though they're maybe smaller, against Gammas? And the answer to that question right now is yes. Alright, I hope that video helped you out today. Again, should you attack Gamma this war with your Knowhere team, even if they have a few guys that are smaller, and as long as they can survive Red Hawk's attacks, that answer is yes. So I really hope you found this video helpful. I was really excited about this new counter, finally a second reliable counter to take out Gamma, and the time is now. So go get things on this war with your Knowhere team and enjoy it. As always, I give you my word that this is the best advice I have. All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Peace.